My biggest problem is program hopping. I chase the latest techniques, gadgets, and quick fix workouts. I then get bored, I stop seeing progress, so I jump ship. This was part of a post from a newcomer in our coaching community recently, and it is one of the most common reasons why most men grow weak, frail, and frustrated, never changing their physique despite sometimes working out for years. So, how do you then escape this resultless cycle of program hopping? For starters, you need to understand why you are a program hopper. In my experience, most program hopping junkies seek constant novelty in their training, not because they get bored of doing the same things. Rather, it's the doing the same things without seeing consistent progress that wears them down. The reason behind this, usually twofold. Number one, you're either following a bad plan, which will typically get you some fast results in the beginning, followed by stagnation, plus often injuries and burnout, or you're on a decent plan, but you're not applying what we call our fourth law of no BS hypertrophy calisthenics, the law of constant improvement. So what do I mean? Well, when you constantly program hop, you have, first of all, no point of reference to measure progress, and you're always going through a technical learning curve with new exercises and training systems which tax you mostly neuronally and mentally, rather than actually building more raw muscular strength. In other words, although you might feel like you're training hard, most of your energy goes to technical adaptation and not building muscle, which actually changes your body. Once you understand this, it's really simple, since you can't push yourself hard, or at least as hard as required, to change your body when you're not technically confident with an exercise, and by extension to that, with a workout plan. And that, my friends, is where the magic and most of your physical transformation actually happens. In those last hard, high-quality reps, which you can only access once your form is dialed in. And this is why we do both form and effort checks on a weekly basis with all of our personal trainees. By the way, if you're interested in our one-on-one coaching, you can always fill in a form that you can find below, and this way you can come in contact with us. Once you've selected the right exercises for your level and your technique is on point, which takes time and often feedback from a coach, progress becomes way more predictable. It becomes much more of a straightforward equation. You put in the work, you get the analogous results. You reap what you sow, and that is a huge mental shift. That is when you stop chasing the wrong kind of novelty and you get hooked on the right kind, the novelty of progress. Every week that goes by, you notice signs of growth, hitting more reps, mastering harder progressions, or adding more weight, while you also watch your physique reflect these changes. You stop bouncing around and you start leveling up. Because once you focus on competing with yourself and seeing these small weekly wins, that is when true transformation happens. And this dopamine hit doesn't even compare to the dopamine hit you seek when you're hopping programs. That being said, this is why tracking is also a non-negotiable for all our trainees, because you can't observe these changes unless you're logging everything you do, both workout and nutrition-wise. That is why you must always have a notebook on your side while training. Honestly, to me, being a program hopper sounds really exhausting. Constantly having to set up new routines, setting up new memberships at a different gym, canceling the old ones, figuring out how long each workout takes, and how to fit it all in an already packed schedule, looking for what kind of new equipment you need, buying new stuff that eventually ends up floating in the ocean, taking 1,000 years to decompose, compared to committing to a routine that works and sticking with it, which simplifies things so much. You know exactly how long each workout takes, you know when, where, and how to set it up, you've got your backpack always ready to go, your home workout station always set up, and so much less friction, which your mind can leverage as an excuse to not get it in when you're stressed or tired. In the end, the less mental energy you have to spend on figuring it out, the more time and physical energy you have to work out, but also the more you get out of your training. Finally, this way your training becomes something deeper than just exercise. It becomes your personal quality time, since as your training goes more and more on autopilot, it transforms into a daily ritual that allows you to recharge, reset, and reconnect with yourself. For me, my morning workouts have an almost meditative taste. They allow me to clear the noise in my head, reflect, and quietly refuel mentally, emotionally, and physically. Plus, oftentimes, they also allow me to catch up on podcasts, audiobooks, or just blast my favorite music. This is something that I believe every man needs, especially if you run your own business or have a family or both and have all kinds of adult responsibilities that constantly pull from you throughout the rest of the day. In the end, when I train in the morning, I show up to the world charged and ready to give rather than drained and reactive. I'm in a better mood, I'm more focused, a better husband, and, as I'm slowly discovering, also a better father. That was all for today. I'd love to hear back from you. How does today's topic resonate with you? And lastly, if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, you can always reach out to us by clicking on the link below, scheduling a free consultation call, and seeing if we're a good fit. Keep on training.